Hi everyone, welcome to this lesson on the solo acoustic arrangement of Eternal Flame by the Bangles. Now, I'm going to roll the Patreon credits, but I'm going to run the list in reverse order because the man at the top of the list is of great importance today. As always, the first part of this lesson will be available on YouTube. For full access, you can check out my brand new website or my trusty old Patreon page. You can find both links in the description alongside the link to music notes for the tab and notation file. And there, that is the man we need, Rick. Rick made the arrangement we are looking at today. And the way this lesson came about was something else. Rick has signed up for the Patreon tier that has monthly online private sessions. During one of these sessions, Rick told me he had written, at that point I think it was just a part of this arrangement, and he wanted my opinion on it. After playing through it, my response was simple: finish it and I will make a lesson on it. And you'll see why. Rick is not holding back. Along the way, you'll encounter harmonic double stops, reharmonized chords, well thought out chord fingerings, and even a lightly strummed section all the way at the end. And all this while never getting into Tommy Emmanuel territory when it comes to the difficulty level. Rick clearly knows what he's doing, and I have provided easier alternatives for the parts that I think are a little more challenging. I really hope you give his arrangement a try. I know I really enjoyed working on this, and who knows, maybe this can turn into a long-running series where I tackle arrangements made by the community on the platforms I'm running. But please give Rick a shout out down below in the comments, let him know what you think. Enjoy the lesson. Okay, on to the tuning. The guitar is in standard tuning, and I'm using a thumb pick. Now, this is a personal choice. I'm only using the thumb pick because of the artificial harmonics in the intro. If you leave out those artificial harmonics, because I will give you that option too, then there is no need for the thumb pick at all. If you have longer fingernails, or if you can get a really clear tone out of those harmonics without the thumb pick, there is no need to use it whatsoever. Let's have a listen at how that intro sounds. And straight into the first verse. It almost sounds like a little music box, and Rick pulls off a beautiful little trick using harmonics. You start with a small G chord. Ring finger 5th fret on the D string, middle finger 4th fret on the G string, and then 2 times the 3rd fret using the index finger on the B string and high E string. The only thing you're going to change in the fretting hand is you're going to add the pinky to the 5th fret on the G string. So from G to G sus4 and back to G. Now the trick is of course in the picking hand. We are going to mirror those chord tones 12 frets higher, at least the chord tones on the G string and the D string. So what we're going to do is we have the 14th fret here. We're going to go up 12 frets to the 16th fret. We're going to point the index finger at the 16th fret and touch the string really lightly, while underneath with the thumb picking the string, giving you a harmonic that sounds an octave higher than what you're holding down here. And that is the first move. We're going to switch or alternate between the G string and the D string. 16th fret, and then to the 17th fret, we're holding the 5th fret down on the D string, plus 12 frets is 16th fret, 17th fret. Back to the G string and back to the D string. Then we add the pinky to the 5th fret on the G string, so the harmonic on the G string shifts up to the 17th fret as well, and you do the same thing. G string, D string, G string, D string. You release the pinky again, back to the 16th fret with the harmonic. And then one more time, dropping down the pinky as the final chord, just one time, that 17th fret. So what you're doing with the harmonics, that full section, is this. And then we head over to the bass line. Let me explain that really quick. Middle finger, 2nd fret. Doesn't matter if you use the middle finger or the index finger. 2nd fret, pulling off to an open string, then to the 2nd fret on the A string, and you end up with a ring finger, whatever option you used before in terms of fingering, you end up with a ring finger on the 3rd fret on the low E string. 2 16th notes and 1 8th note. And landing, and this is the first bass note of the verse. Now, you're not finished with those harmonics just yet. So you have the harmonic part in the thumb, and now we are going to add a 2nd note on top of that. At least it feels like that when you're playing it, but that harmonic will always be the top note, despite you playing it on the D string and the G string. Whenever we play a harmonic on the G string, we are now going to use the ring finger on the high E string to add that 3rd fret you're holding down here. So index finger on the 14th fret, ring finger on the high E string fretted note. Together it gives you that lovely 6th interval in there. And then you jump over to the D string and you do the exact same thing. You follow with the ring finger and you head over to the B string and you do the exact same thing. Harmonic on the D string, plucking the B string, fretting the 3rd fret. And now you're going to alternate between those 2 strings. And this is quite a delicate technique. You have to try and let those strings out as long as possible. So always in pairs. Then you add the pinky to the 5th fret. And the picking pattern is always the same. It's always G string together with the E string, D string together with the B string. And that is the final one. Just G string, holding down the 5th fret together with the high E string, moving to the bass line and the 1st chord. So let me play that full intro one more time, really slowly. And ending up on the ring finger on the 3rd fret. Let me do that one more time while using the magnet, that special camera angle on the guitar, so you can see how that picking pattern with the thumb, index finger and the ring finger works at the same time. Now there is a much easier option as well. You can leave out the harmonics altogether if this feels like a massive difficulty spike before even starting the first verse of the song. There's a much easier alternative. And that means just playing a small bar on the 7th fret across the across the G string, B string and high E string, and adding the middle finger on the 8th fret of the B string. So 7th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. This is a small G chord played as a D shape on the 7th fret. You're just going to plug those 2 top strings, the B string and E string, and alternate to the note on the G string. Now add the ring finger to the 8th fret on the high E string and repeat. Remove the ring finger. And back to the ring finger, and that is the full intro. Now you could now do a really quick switch to that open position for that bass line, but there is a bit more of an elegant option. You can leave that last chord ringing out and end up on the bass note like that. So while holding down those 2 last final notes, the 8th fret on the B string and high E string, you let go of the bar on the index finger, play the 7th fret on the A string, then an open D string, 7th fret on the low E string, and you slide down. Now you're sliding now with the ring finger. Make sure that once you end up down here, you do switch to the ring finger for the first bass note. So So that is a much easier alternative. Those harmonics sound amazing. That's like a little music box winding down. But if that is too difficult, then this is quite easy to play and maybe a bit more in line with the rest of the arrangement. Let me play it one more time really slowly. And now maybe just for good measure one more time with the magnet on the guitar, giving you a bit of a better view. So that was the full intro. You're now ready to dive into the verse. The verse is something for part 2 of the tutorial. I'll see you there.